A very good evening to all of you. Yes, I hope you all have joined in, and I hope you all are equally energetic and enthusiastic as you guys were yesterday. So kindly just reply with hi so that I know that you all have joined in and we can start with today's class. Yes, kindly write in the chat box. Okay, good evening. Okay, today I'm not going to get that right. Okay. Yes, good evening to all of you. So before I start, just let me know, is my video clear and am I audible? Okay, thank you so much. So I hope you all are must be sitting with your registers, your pens and your calculators, because in accounts from day one we'll have the habit of keeping our calculator with us. Okay. So now let us discuss what we did yesterday. Yesterday, first I told you about the syllabus, that as per the institute's study material, the material is divided into two modules I discussed with you all. There is module 1 which has chapter 1 to 6, right? And there is module 2 which has remaining 4 chapters, chapters 7 to 10. While I just wrote these chapters name, I didn't tell you that how much weightage it has. So today I would like to first give you the weightage of these chapters, and then from today onwards we start with our accounting. As you all know that yes, you guys have been given some time wherein you can register later on, but we'll start our course from today itself. Okay, so chapter 1, and from today you can start writing with me. I'll give you time and have the habit of writing with me only, so that both of time is not wasted. But wherever you feel that ma'am please wait, we are still copying, then let me know, I'll hold on. Okay, so keep writing with me so that we have just an overview. Chapter 1 is theoretical framework, where I told you that a lot of theory related to accounts is there, which I was stressing on is important, and definitely it is. But okay, I'll discuss it after a few minutes once I write the name of all the chapters. So chapter 1 itself carries around 5 to 10% of the marks. As we know, accounts paper, I'm so sorry, I've written paper 2. Yeah, it's paper 1. I'm so sorry. Paper 1, principles and practices of accounting. Why do we write paper 1? Because CA Foundation, the first paper will be of accounts, and it will be a 100-mark paper. And like I discussed, it would be a subjective paper where you'll have to write down. Okay. So chapter 1 theoretical framework contains 5 to 10% of the marks. So there'll be some theory questions, some true or false based questions. After that comes chapter 2, where there is accounting process, that is journal, ledger, trial balance. For my commerce students, these words will not be very new to you. But for my science students, they must be feeling, what is this? The journal ledger, ma'am was saying something yesterday also. But we don't know. You don't have to worry. Everything you will come to know, because this is the base. So this is what we will start. Okay. Then there is subsidiary books and rectification of errors. Rectification of errors. Just note down with me. After this comes chapter number 3, which is bank reconciliation statement. Bank reconciliation statement. Then comes chapter 4, which is inventories. I'm hoping and expecting that you guys are writing with me only. So I'm kind of dictating. Okay. So have the habit of writing together. Chapter 5, depreciation. So from all this, from chapter number 2 up till chapter number 5, these chapters in total contain around 25 to 30% of marks. Okay. Then comes chapter 6, that is accounting for some special transactions. Accounting for special transactions, some different type of businesses doing business in a different way, and the accounting also changes somewhat. So that we will be discussing in this chapter, and it has complete 5 units. So the unit 1 is bills of exchange. From today onwards, I'll be writing so that you guys write with me. And let me tell you that in these few days, we will be referring notes, but not that much. So to you all, I would say you guys don't, even if you don't refer the notes, it's okay. Everything I'll be putting up the PDF on the screen itself, and you all have to just write with me. When it comes about the questions, I'll tell you, I'll guide you. But right now, you just think that in these days, initial days, you just have to write with me. And while writing, even your brain will be working. Okay. So bills of exchange, then comes consignment, then comes goods sold on approval or return basis. Goods sold on approval or return basis. Then average due date. Average due date. And the next is account current. Account current. Okay. These are chapters which will carry around, I would say, 15 to 20% of the marks. Okay. So this is all about our module 1. I hope you are writing. I'll just wait for 2 minutes. Just let me know once you're done up till here. And yes, I remember that before I ended my class yesterday, I had some doubts. Rajkumar and I think, I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the name. I'll try and see if the name is here. Some person starting from the letter M. You were asking some doubts. I'm sorry that I ended the class. So your doubts will be cleared today, okay? And as you all know, you guys have to ask me lot many doubts, because that is what then only we'll learn. Come on, tell me, is this done? Have you all written up till here? Say done, because already there are too many yes in the chats. Okay. Only I've got 2 yes right now. I'm waiting. Everyone has to say yes. Good, Yukta. Come on, boys. I'll make sure you write with me, but it will help you a lot. So always remember that whatever we are making you do is not because let them do this. No, there is a reason behind everything I say. And especially for the notes, I believe that our own handwritten notes, like even what I am writing on the screen, suppose I give you a printout of this, even that won't be helpful. What will be helpful is what you've written on your own, because when you see your own page, okay, I've written this, then you go back to that video and you realize, okay, ma'am was saying this, ma'am had given me these examples. Okay, so always have the habit of writing handwritten notes, and for all the subjects. So there are some guidance which I always give. This is for all subjects. Okay. And I think you must be fresh after a nice tea coffee break. Okay. And now coming on to module 2. So in module 2, there is chapter number 7 of final accounts. Final accounts, that too of sole proprietors. Final accounts of sole proprietor. Preparation of final account of sole proprietors. Now, before I move ahead, let me just tell you, see, business generally happens in 3 ways. One is sole proprietor business. What do you mean by sole proprietor? Can anyone tell me? What is sole proprietor business? You have to be quick at typing because we are at, we are virtually together live. So I'll be asking you many questions. Continuously you'll have to type. And that's why you'll be active also. Good. Single owner of business. Yes. Sole proprietor. There is in the business, there is just one single owner who is called the proprietor. So sole means one. Single owner. Okay. Apart from this, we have partnership business. Very good. Partnership business where there are two or more than two persons. Two or more than two persons. In that case, they are called partners. Okay. The owners are called partners. And then when we study that chapter, we'll go into the details, maximum number of partners and all later. Next comes company form of business. In company form of business, the owners are basically the shareholders. Okay, I'll write completely. Shareholders. Or we also use the word members who have invested money in the business. They have invested some or the other money in the business. So they are the shareholders. They are the owners. However, you must be knowing that in case of company form of business, there are many shareholders. Now some of you must be thinking, oh, even my dad has shares in this Reliance company. So is he a shareholder? Is he an owner? Yes, he is. For that percent of shares, he is the owner. But he doesn't go to Reliance company and actually works. That's because in such big companies, there is a distinction between the owners and the management. So management are those people who are actually looking into the day-to-day affairs of the business. And owners are those who have invested their money in the business. Okay. Same thing can be done even in case of sole proprietor, even in case of partners. But generally, a single owner, if he's doing his business, then he himself is managing the whole business. Okay, he might keep some person under him, but then he is wholly solely responsible. But in case of companies, the public at large are the shareholders. There are many people who invested money, small amounts. So now, so many people going together and managing the business, you can just imagine what will be the situation. That is why in case of companies, the business, the management is given to a separate body. Okay. So right now in our course, we have final accounts of sole proprietor. We have final accounts of partnership accounts. See, in partnership accounts, let me tell you, finalization of accounts is very similar to that of sole proprietor. But in partnership accounts, what we will learn is, like yesterday also, I just mentioned the name, admission of a partner, death of a partner, retirement of a partner. This is all we will do. Then you also have final accounts of non-profit organization. Final accounts of NPO, non-profit organizations. Now, what are these? So today, along with writing, we'll be discussing many points. So your brain and your hands have to work together. Today, in each and every word, there'll be some meaning and something we will keep on learning. Still, wherever you feel that you've missed a point, you want me to repeat, kindly say, ma'am, repeat this point. Or if you feel any doubt is there, though today is just, I would believe, starting with the chapter today is like the first class in one sense. So there are many things, yes, many questions might arisen and which will get cleared slowly. But if you feel you want to ask, just ask me. Don't wait. Okay. Now, non-profit organizations are mainly trusts, clubs, societies, NGOs, whose main aim is not profit. And this we will discuss when we come in those chapter. Okay. And last but not the least, we have company accounts. Now, one thing I want to point out here is that in case of company accounts, we will not learn finalization at CA foundation level. At this level, we will not be preparing balance sheets of the company. We will just be learning the initial issue of shares, issue of debentures, those things. Okay. Also coming on to the weightage. So these three chapters, chapters 7, 8 and 9, final accounts of sole proprietor, partnership and NPO. These have around 35 to 40% of weightage. And your company accounts have around 10 to 15% of weightage. Okay. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention. One thing I've come to know that you guys are very sincere and very good students, because yesterday I had mentioned that I'll be taking from chapter 1 to chapter 6 and then I will be taking chapter number 7. This is what I told you all yesterday, correct? Right? Yes. Yes. But let me tell you, that won't be the actual way I'll be doing it, because see, first we will understand the base of accounts again. Some of my friends who are from commerce, you guys must be knowing the normal journal ledger, and you guys must also be knowing कि, okay, yeah, we prepare this trading PNL account where we get gross profit, net profit. And when I'm saying this, maybe Yukta and Nikhila are not able to relate. What is ma'am saying? It's okay. It's okay. So this is not the way, this is just how the module goes. And even my notes, when I'll be giving you my notes have chapter numbers same like the module. But our flow will be different. We will be first understanding the base, even theoretical framework. I told you that this theory, at once if I teach, you will go all mad. You will go all mad. What's happening? So we will go very slow. Whatever is relevant, we will do it like this. But you guys just have to, hold on and just listen whatever I'm teaching. And by the end of the batch, we will be ready and we will be, at a position where we can score good marks and we've understood accounts. See, the aim is not to just pass this foundation level. The aim is that up till my CA final, and even once I become a professional, when I actually have to apply these logics in my practical life, at that time my concepts and my base has to be very clear. Okay, so you don't even see that which chapter is going on. Oh, in this chapter this part is left. I know what will be left, what has to be done when. So that those all things you can just leave on me. Just keep with me, attend your classes regularly, revise before you come. I will be giving you homework that you should do. Okay, and then we will move on together and we will try that we are able to complete the portion in a good way, in time, and at a pace or at a stage where we know, okay, what we learned. It's not that, oh, this chapter is finished, I don't know what happened in this chapter. That shouldn't happen. Okay, so on that note, now let us start. Now, I hope everyone had copied this part. Yes, I don't think I wrote much. So I hope this part is clear now. Okay. Now, yesterday I also discussed with you a few things relating to accounting. So I told you that accounting is the language of business, right? Wherever you go, be it India, be it Australia, be it America, be it any country or any place, if you talk about business, you need to know this one language, which is accounts. Okay, and what we will learn in CA Foundation is the very base of accounts, so that we are slowly able to reconnect, and wherever we go, we are able to find the results of business by knowing accounting as the language. Okay, so accounting is the language of business, and through this we communicate information. I also mentioned the word that accounts is nothing but an information system. So today I'm writing again so that you all can copy. Accounts is an information system, as it informs about the business results. What does it tell you? It informs about how the business has performed how the business has performed. What is the position of business? And these are informed to the users of financial statements. Users of financial statements. Okay. Now, since we had discussed about users yesterday, I would like to first come on to users, and I think one of my friend, I think Mohit. Mohit, you were asking me something about internal users. If I am not wrong, kindly just let me know. I hope you've written this along with me. Yes, Mohit. Okay. Who all? No, it was Madhav. Okay, it was Madhav. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it was some M I remembered. Acha. Can any one of you tell me what did we learn yesterday about users of financial statements? Today we'll understand in more detail, and today we'll understand only a few points. Rest of the things, as in when we proceed with our course, things you will keep on understanding on your own. Chapter 1 actually in totality should be done in the last, and whatever parts is relevant with our topic, we'll be doing that ways. Yes, very good, Rashi. We said that in case of users of financial statements, there are internal users. Oh, Madhav is also here. There are internal users and there are external users, right? Now, coming on to who are internal users and what are internal users. So, internal users are those who manage the business. Who manage the business. They are the first persons who will want to know how the business has performed. These questions, how the business has performed, what is the position of the business, they'll be the first one, and they will be the most curious ones to know how my business is performing. Okay, they are the internal users, and we mentioned that here there are owners, partners. Now we know owners, partners, shareholders, and also the managers, because like in company form of business, the managers are the whole and soul, and they are doing the day-to-day activity of the business. The shareholders have just invested their money, and all they would be waiting was for the profit and the, yes, definitely the growth of business. Along with this, I'd also mentioned external users. Now external users are all those who are not internal to the business. So today I will be discussing with you that why external users also need to know how the business is performing. Today we'll understand all those, but I'll just write so that you have the list. Even if you don't understand particular words here, it's okay. I'll make you understand slowly and gradually. So I'd mentioned lenders, because a business takes loan. Then I'd mentioned your suppliers, from whom you purchase goods, your customers, to whom you sell goods, government for tax purpose, for regulatory purpose, even the society at large. So these were some of the external users, right? Up till here we did yesterday. I am coming to the definition. I also done the definition of accounting, but today we'll understand in more detail. Okay. So are all of you with me up till here? Come on, tell me quickly, then I move ahead. And I hope today everyone is noting down. Yes, laborers, we can say employees. Good, Rajkumar. Even employees for that matter are external users of financial statements. Okay. Good. So now I mentioned one more word, that was users of financial statements. Now, what are these financial statements? Again, to my friends of science stream, you can just write down what it is. I'll try and explain in the simplest form right now. But later on, we will learn how to prepare these financial statements also. Okay. So when it comes to financial statements, I can say in simple form, financial statements is nothing but report card of the business. Like we used to pass our exams and then we used to get a report card. After standard 1, you get a report card. So there it's written how you performed this year, what you did this year, What are your marks? Are you eligible to go into the next year? Getting it? So here in business, but yeah, even in business, we can say, should I continue with my business further? Am I doing that much good? Okay. So financial statements are divided, or I can say there are four things in the financial statement. One is the statement of financial performance. Statement of financial performance, how the business has performed. My question is answered here. And for this, we make a trading and P&L account, trading and profit and loss account. Okay. Then we have balance sheet. Balance sheet is nothing but a statement of financial position, but what does it show? It shows our assets and liabilities. It shows our assets and liabilities, and it is a statement of financial position. Okay, I'll come on to the words what are assets, what are liabilities. I'll discuss that today. Along with that, you have cash flow statement. Cash flow statement shows the movement of funds or movement of cash in the business. And last but not the least are the notes to accounts. How has this amount of asset come in the picture? So there are notes to accounts, but what I would like to say is right now at foundation level, all you are concerned is with the statement of financial performance, that is trading and P&L account and balance sheet. You don't have to worry about these cash flow statement and notes to accounts. It's not in our course. That is why we'll not talk much about these things right now. Okay. Now, coming on to first, since I've written the word assets and liabilities. Yes, can anyone tell me what are assets? Again, I'll not go into the technical definition of the word assets, but yes, generally, what can we call an asset? Especially to our friend Yukta. If you want to tell Yukta and Nikhila, what are assets? You can give me, you have to explain me. Come on, my dear friends. I know you guys know. So answer, it's okay. And from now on, you have the habit of answering. Even if you're right or wrong, who I told you, no one is judging. Our institute will judge us on the day of exam. Before that, we are free. Bindas. Yes, assets. Things that give future benefit. Okay. Benefits which we owe. Good. Okay. Anything owned by the business like machinery. Good, Yukta. Very nice. Things that the business owns which will give benefits. Good. If the utility can be derived for more than a year, Rashi, you are partially correct. I will tell you why. Because Rashi, what you are saying is fixed assets. Right now, I will not go into much definition of fixed assets, but there are things which gives us benefit for less than 1 year also, and they are also our assets. So, in simple terms, assets are nothing but what we own, and from which benefit can be derived. Benefit can be derived. I can say from which cash can be received either by selling it. Okay. So our cash. Now, simple example, you just take your own self. So your cash, whatever cash or the bank balance you have, that is your asset. If let's say if you have a property or a house in your name, that is your asset, because later on you can sell and you can receive money out of it. You have any gold jewelry, that is your asset. Okay. If you have invested in some shares, debentures, you might not have invested, but maybe your parents, if you guys are aware of it, else no problem. That's why I'm not writing. We want to go into very simple thing. If you have your own vehicle, if might be a bicycle or maybe a two-wheeler, maybe a moped. So your two-wheeler is your asset, right? You can later on sell. And along with this, also I would like to tell you, if suppose you have given loan to your friend, So don't you think anything receivable from anyone is your asset? Do you guys agree with me? Anything receivable. So these, what we said, were properties. Properties, see, technical definition, I can say properties owned or controlled by the enterprise. This is what we say. Properties that are owned and controlled by the enterprise. Like the laptop which I'm using right now. That is my property. I own it and I control it. Even if you get my laptop, if you don't know the password, you cannot, use it. Are you guys getting it? So properties which are owned and controlled by an enterprise, but it includes receivables also. If you have given loan to your friend, the money which is receivable, that part is also your asset. I hope I am clear. Anyone having any doubt up till here? I'll wait for a minute. You can ask me. Yes. Okay. So I hope this part is clear. Now, moving ahead with the word liabilities. Since we wrote this word, we should know what's the meaning of liabilities also. So liabilities is what we have to pay to someone, something which does not belong to us, and we have to pay. Yes, karja, loan, basically loan taken, which we do not own, and we have to pay back. Basically, if we have taken a loan, then if we have to pay, I would say, even if we have to pay to our employee, suppose his salary is pending, I'll not use the technical word right now, so pay salary, even that's my liability, my responsibility. Okay, because I have to pay salary, I have not paid yet. Then if you have to pay to your suppliers from whom you purchased goods and you have to pay them money, yes, they are called payables, but I'll come on to those words later on. Whatever you have to pay back are your liabilities, right? So balance sheet is a statement of financial position which tells you as on a particular date. Now I'm coming on to one more important word. Anything which is payable now or in future. Very good. Anything which is payable now or in future is your liability. So now I'm coming on to one more important word, that is balance sheet tells you the position as on a particular date. And this I will relate with one more word. That is why I'm, stressing on the word as on a particular date. Wait, let me write down this also. So now we are coming on to the point that balance sheet is prepared as on a particular date. Why so? You all can look into yourselves and check that your financial position keeps on changing daily. So maybe tonight I'm sleeping with the amount of cash in my hand. Next day morning I go down and I bring milk. Don't you think my cash is going down? So my position changed, right? So our financial position keeps on changing daily. But now every day making balance sheet is difficult. So we prepare these financial statements at the end of accounting year. So you can write financial statements are prepared. Financial statements are prepared at the end of an accounting year. Now what is an accounting year and all, we'll come into that later on. You can just write this part because I want to relate something with this. Okay. So I'm again waiting for 2 minutes. Kindly write just this part. We right now discussed users. In users, we said that users are internal and external users. And then we said that to these users, we communicate information and they check and that information is communicated through financial statements. So then we discussed what comes under financial statements. Right now at our level, we just need to know that in financial statements, we have trading and P&L account, which is our which shows our performance, and balance sheet, which shows our position. And when we talked about balance sheet, we discussed what are assets and what are liabilities in a very layman term. Okay. I hope all of you are with me up till here. Now I'm coming back to the definition which I discussed yesterday. So I'll come to the point wherein first I said, as per, I wrote the word AICPA. What was this? This is an American Institute. This is one body, that is American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, who have given a definition on accounts, and that definition we were reading yesterday. American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, CPA. I don't know if you guys have heard this. Like in India, we do CA. In US, we do CPA. Now, let's not go into much detail. So, here we said that accounting is an art of recording, classifying, and summarizing. What? Recording, classifying, summarizing what? So next we said transactions and events. Transactions and events in a significant manner. In a significant manner. And in terms of money. And in terms of money. Then, which are of financial character? Which are of financial character. And last but not the least, we said, and I hope, is it clear? Wait, I'll write a bit up. And communicating it to the users of financial statements. Right? Now, I will come on to this definition again today. But today, we'll not be going into the detailed words. We'll just understand the very base, which is accounting is an art of recording. Recording means, what do you mean to record? Yes, can anyone tell me what do you mean to record? To note down. Very good, Ekta. Basically, to keep a record means to note down. Everything what is happening in the business, we will record. Okay. But now I'll change my word. Right now I said everything which is happening in the business, we will record. But I'll tell you, save something to refer for future. Very good. But we will be recording transactions and events. We had also discussed what are transactions and events. Tell me, what are transactions? Again, this you should note down. What are transactions? If yesterday you guys did not note down, so kindly note down today. What are transactions? Writing them in the books so as to use in future. Good. That is nothing but to record. Because in business, so many transactions are happening that it's impossible for us to, keep in mind each and every point. That is why we note down and we record. Performance of an act and agreement. Good. Transaction was performance of any act or an agreement. Of any act or an agreement. Now, since we are learning accounts from business point of view, here whatever I speak, mostly I'll speak from business point of view, unless and until when we are discussing, when I'm trying to explain, then I'll take our personal examples. But apart from that, whenever I use this word, I mean performance of an act or agreement by business. Now, what I want to tell you is transaction is performance of any act. Like today in my business, I had a meeting with one of my suppliers. So even that is a transaction, because yes, there was an act. In my business today, I had a meeting with a supplier. That is an act. I fired one of my employee. That is also a transaction. I sold goods. That is also my transaction. Okay, so what I want to say is anything and everything happening in the business is a transaction. Right now I'm teaching to you is a transaction. You guys are learning, this is a transaction, right? All these are transactions. And we had also learned what is event. So what were events? What were events? Yes, events are nothing but result of the transactions. Results of the transactions. So now I want to come to the point that these events or results of the transactions are also at a particular time. Like just now I discussed with you all that the financial statements that we prepare is at the end of a particular accounting year. What is accounting year? We've not discussed, it's okay. But basically after some time we come to an event. Like in our case, what will be the event be? Finally, after our batch, we are, done with our studies, and especially after our exam, our result would be the event of whatever we are performing together, all the transactions which we'll be performing together. The event would be our result after giving our exams. Okay, so event happens at a particular time, and you have to see after that time only. Today itself, you cannot get the result of everything. Okay, now once you've understood what are transactions, anything and everything done by the business is a transaction. An event is nothing but the consequence or the result of such transaction. What I want to say, anything and everything performed by the business is okay, but in my accounts, cracked exam with best marks will be the greatest event. Yes. And my dear students, if you all are just sincere with your studies, yesterday also I mentioned sincere doesn't mean that you have to study daily for 6 hours. No, right now at foundation level that's not required. All what is required is, I told you, be regular in your classes. Don't try to skip even a single class. Even a single day, if you miss, you're missing 3 or 4 lectures. Okay, and the link gets broken. So try your best. Even someday if you're not feeling well, I'll also try my best that even if I'm not feeling well, I come to you and we study something. So yes, there may be days that if you're not feeling well on a particular day, maybe you're not able to note down, but at least you listen, at least you should know what happened in the class. So sincerity will be required in the form of regularity in classes and revising, please. Right now, see, in the start of the class, when we say revising, there is not much. But I'm telling you, by January, or by Jan and Feb, you will realize that every subject, a good amount of courses happened. So at that moment, a child starts panicking. But you don't have to panic. The only thing you need to ask yourself, whatever has happened up till now, do I know? Yes. Do I remember? Maybe everything is not possible to remember at that moment itself, but do I know what all has happened? So if I open my book, will I be able to recollect? Yes. If the answer is yes, you are going good. You are going at a very good pace. And we will be taking periodic tests mostly every week, except for the first week we might leave. So at least I might leave the first week, because let us see, depending on the portion, but every weekly tests will be happened. Kindly give it with full sincerity. With my notes, the illustrations, practical questions, and my test papers. Those are enough for you all to clear the exams with good marks. Not only clearing, but clearing with good marks. Okay. So now coming on to the answer. Transactions and events. Each and everything happening in a business is a transaction. Like I told you that my meeting with one of the suppliers is a transaction. Okay. I fired one of my employees is a transaction. But can all transactions be recorded in the books of accounts? So the answer is no. Only transactions which are of financial character. Now, what do you mean by financial character? Financial character, I mean by financial character that only those transactions with which money or money's worth, either money or money's worth, something worthy of money is coming in the business or going out of the business, coming in the business or going out. Only those things will be recorded in our books of accounts. So yesterday, when, if you all remember, I'd taken the example of Yash and Harsh. One is a very loyal employee because of whom, the customers get attracted more and they end up buying more products than what they had actually come to buy. Whereas my another employee Yash, who is doing good, who is doing his work, but he is not able to generate more income, but their salary is same. So this qualitative character of Yash, of Harsh, I cannot record in my books, right? Similarly, if I give you one more example, let's say Steve Jobs. Okay, let us come on to Steve Jobs. Okay, again, I would like to mention all my examples are hypothetical. I might use the brand name so that we are able to connect properly. Okay, but all those are hypothetical. I am not supporting any brand, nor I am defaming any brand. So what I'm saying, after the death of Steve Jobs, don't you think, what do you guys think? The Apple company must have got affected. Yes? Do you all agree? Apple as a company, as a brand, must have got affected. Was it that easy for them? Yes, but could this such a major thing happened, but can this be recorded in the books of accounts? In their books of accounts, can this be shown? No. Why? Because now here you will say they could have even faced losses. Like yesterday I was giving one more example of Johnson's company, if you remember, Johnson and Johnson, where one mother had filed a suit against the company because of some disease in her daughter. So that affects the brand name. But at that moment, and we can say it has a financial character in one way, because later on the company will go into losses, but right now it cannot be recorded in the books or accounts, because only those financial transactions will be recorded in the books which can be measurable in terms of money. So now I'm coming on to one more point, that some things can happen in business in such a way that it will affect financially. It will affect our business financially, but right now we cannot record in terms of money. I don't know how to measure this part in terms of money. So on the death of Steve Jobs, definitely the company is affected. But right now it cannot be measured in terms of money, thus it will not be recorded in the books of accounts. So am I clear here that all these transactions can be recorded only when they are measured in terms of money? Clear? Okay. So now today we understood the definition of accounting in much proper way, where you guys will tell me that yesterday the classifying and summarizing part, I would say leave these things also right now. Classifying, summarizing, then I used words like analyzing, interpreting. Let us leave it. We will come to those things again. We will come back to those things again. But right now, let us understand from the start, from the very base. Okay? Okay. So now today, I would like to start on how to account and how to record in the books. Since we are saying that accounting is a language of business and it is universal, everywhere you go in India, you go to UAE, you go to US, you go to UK, everywhere you go, the accounts would be same, or the language will be same, is because of few concepts. If you know these concepts well, then accounting is easy, plus it is easy to understand what is there. Okay, it's easy to understand and it is easy to account in a business. So there are many concepts, but here also I'll divide. Some concepts we'll do, then related things we'll do. So even all the concepts I won't be teaching you together. When the time comes, I'll be teaching you few concepts. But today, yes, the first and the most basic concept of accounts is separate entity, or I would try to say business entity concept. What I'm saying? Business entity concept. Please do write with me. These concepts can come as 2-mark, 4-mark questions also. So I said you concept oriented as well as exam oriented. Okay. Business and entity concept. Now, this is the most beautiful concept in accounts, I feel. Why? Because what does this concept say first? This concept, as per business entity, or we also use the word separate entity concept, it says that the owner and their business and his business are two separate persons for accounts. So let us give an example. Maybe our owner is, say, Raj. Raj is our owner and his business name is Raj Trading Company. Raj Traders. Raj Traders is his business. From accounts point of view, let me again come to the point. From accounts point of view, Raj Traders is a separate entity, a separate person, and the owner Raj is a separate person. Why I'm saying the as per accounts? Because if you see as per law, in case of law, when you will go into law, only in case of companies, the members, that is the owners, the shareholders are different, and the business, the management is different from law point of view. Here, from law point of view, if I say, if suppose something wrong or misdoings happen in Raj Traders, just giving you an example, say suppose Raj Traders is involved in some illegal business. So don't you think that the police will come and catch Raj? Yes? Do you all agree with me? Yes, as per law, do you all agree with me that if Raj Traders is involved in any illegal business, the company, as per law, Raj Traders ke piche there is one person who is Raj. So they will catch him. But from accounts point of view, it is the beauty of accounts that accounts have given this business a separate identity of its own, and it is very necessary and it has made simple because now as per business entity concept, the business is different. Sorry, the business is separate and the owner is separate, and because of this, business being separate and owner being separate, we will record only the business transactions in the books of business. We will record only business transactions in business books of accounts. Owners' personal transactions do not form part of business books of accounts. Okay, so you can first write that separate entity concept says that owner and business are two separate persons, as per accounts, and then you can say, and thus only business transactions are recorded in business books of accounts. Owners personal, I can move ahead. Owners personal transactions, owners personal transactions are not recorded in business books, are not recorded in business books of accounts. Am I clear here? Okay, am I clear here? And again, I would like to stress, because now I'll come on to some examples, that these transactions which I'll record in my business books, they all have to be financial transactions. What do you mean by financial transactions? Financial transactions which will affect the financial position of business, where business assets or liabilities might go up and down. Okay, wherever business finances are affected, those things will be recorded in our business books, but our personal transactions of the owner will not be recorded in business books. So now let me give you example number 1. I hope you all have noted down up till here. Kindly please shoot all your doubts up till now. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask me. Don't hesitate for even a second. Even if you feel that, okay, ma'am might say it later on, you ask me right now. Okay, I can say that this will be taken up later. But you have to ask me doubts. Keep no scope. Okay. So, example 1. Raj is our owner and Raj Traders is his business. Huh? Raj gives loan to his friend Mohan out of his personal cash. Out of his personal cash. Tell me, first question, is it a financial transaction? Financial transaction means can it be recorded in terms of money? Is it a financial transaction? Yes or no? Yes. Is it a financial transaction? I want all of you to answer, my friends. Okay, Ekta says no. Rajkumar says yes, it is a financial transaction. What about others? Vidhi says yes, it's a financial transaction. Okay, I'll write the amount also. Let's say 50,000. Mohit Unnati says okay. Ekta now says yes. Yes, definitely. See, right now I did not ask you from business point of view, but what I asked was, is it a financial transaction? Yes, ma'am. A finance amount is involved 50,000. It will affect the position of Raj, right? And it is measurable in terms of money. So yes, it is a financial transaction. But is it a business transaction? Is it a business transaction? Good. Acha, Dipesh said no. Dipesh beta, are you now able to understand? Dipesh, did you understand why I'm saying yes on financial transaction? Because it affected the position of Raj and it is measurable in terms of money. So we can say there are two cases. There are two cases in which you call a financial transaction. What are those two cases? First, it affects your financial position. It affects your financial position. Either your financial position increases, decreases, or something. Good. And secondly, it is measurable in terms of money. You can measure it. Measurable in terms of money. However, yes, all of you were perfectly correct that this was not a business transaction. Thus, we will not record this transaction in the books of business. Do you all agree with me? We will not record this transaction in the books of business. So, Raj can maintain his personal books and Raj will have to maintain a separate books for the business. Why are we doing this? So that if I keep a separate books for my business, no, I can easily see. Main reason is what? Communicating to the users of financial statements. I want to prepare my financial statements. I want to know how my business has performed. That is why in accounts we separated business as a separate person, so that only the transactions which affect business will be recorded, so that after that my position of the business can be known. Okay, I hope I am clear up till here. One more example I'll give. So now, next example, Raj bought a delivery van. Raj bought a delivery van for his business from his personal cash. From his personal cash. I hope the above example has been noted down by you all. I am keeping it for a minute more. Kindly please note it down. You can ask me to wait, okay? So I will hold on. Yes. Raj bought a delivery van for his business from his personal cash. Again, I want to know, first of all, is it a financial transaction? And secondly, is it a business transaction? See, if both the conditions get satisfied, if it is a financial transaction and it is a business transaction, then only it will be recorded in our business books of accounts. Okay, so I've got the answer that yes, ma'am, it is a financial transaction. Okay, people are saying yes to both. It is a financial transaction. It is a business transaction also, people are telling me. Is there anyone who contradicts you, say no, it's not a business transaction? Is there anyone who says no, it's not a business transaction? Come on, speak up. Don't think that the majority is saying yes, so I'll also say yes. Whatever it's in your mind, tell me so that we can clear it. But I hope you all are really good students. Good. Nice to hear from you. Yes, it is again a financial transaction because cash must have gone out and a van has come. Van is again money, or money is what I told you, no? So it's not necessary. Acha, Dipesh says it's a financial transaction, but it is not a business transaction. Now here, I would say yes, it is a business transaction. Why? Because the delivery van was taken for his business. So this van became asset of the business. So the financial position of business does get affected. This van was taken for business. Thus the financial position was affected. Are you getting it? Only, I'm so sorry. The cash of business was not used. Raj bought his own personal cash. That's okay. But if you ask me, I can measure the van's value in terms of money. Yes, for how much price I must have bought it. Maybe say 5 lakh. I bought this van for 5 lakh. So it is capable to be measured in terms of money. Yes. And it is affecting my business position. Yes. So it will be recorded in business books of accounts. Am I clear? Dipesh, beta, am I clear? You can still argue, you can still say no, you can still say, but I feel like this. Please, it's okay. This space is open for you all. Yes, it is from personal cash, no doubt. So, see, if it's from personal cash, I would say you will also record in personal books of Raj. You will record in personal books, but it is affecting business assets. Finally, the delivery van is coming for the business. So, my assets increased. Now, I'll come on to the second point. But ma'am, cash is not going out. Now, okay, from this only here itself I should come. Because of this, I'll go back up. See, listen to me. I'll come back to this point. Because of this business entity concept where we say that the owner, Raj, and the business, Raj Traders, are different, it develops a lender-borrower relationship between owner and the business. Because initially, first time, when Raj must have started business, Raj must have invested some money in the business, right? Do you all agree? Okay, that money can be in terms of cash. He brought in cash in the business, or he must have bought some assets. So in case of assets, I can say he must have got goods. Okay, these goods I'll be starting to sell in my business. Am I clear? He must have got some goods. He must have got these delivery vans or some assets. He must have had some machine on his own, which he brought in the business, or maybe a cupboard from house. He felt, okay, this cupboard is not used. I can use another cupboard in my home. I'm as it is, I'm changing my furniture. So I'll take it in my shop. I can store things. So do you guys understand that because of business entity concept or separate entity concept, it develops a lender borrower relationship between the owner and business. And now I can also say that because of this, the amount to be paid back to Raj, the amount to be paid back to Raj by the business is a kind of liability for the business. Is a kind of liability for business. So whatever amount business has invested in Raj, it is a liability for the business. Are you all able to link it well? Dipesh, you can still tell me if you have any doubt, please feel free. Yukta and all my other friends. Unnati, Vidhi, everyone, Shraddha, Ekta, kindly let me know. Here up till now, do you have any doubts? So this should be your second point. That because of separate entity concept, there is a lender-borrower relationship between owner and the business. And whatever amount owner Raj has invested in the business, it is a liability for the business. Okay. Dipesh, is it clear now that here, though it was from personal cash of Raj, but it affected the position of the business Raj Traders. And yes, this is a liability. So the business has to pay back the amount to Raj somewhere or the other. Okay, good. Right? Now, with this, we'll understand one more word which most of my commerce students must be knowing. The word is capital. This is the first journal entry when we are taught journal entry. What is capital? So what is capital? First, let me explain you. Right now, what I told you, that the amount which is invested by Raj, whatever Raj brings in the business is a liability for business. But rather than using the word liability, we use the word capital. So you have to understand that capital is also a kind of liability for business, because the business has to pay this amount back to the owner. It is a liability for business. But we don't use the word liability. We say capital is amount invested by the owner in the business. Yes. Yukta, you said amount introduced by owner in the business. Here I would say that always it's not necessary that you have to introduce only once. Are you guys getting it? So now I am the owner of my business. In intervals also, today, like first time I introduced, okay, I started my business with say cash of 5 lakh. Then I had already purchased goods. So maybe I started my business with some goods and I took my own two-wheeler as a for delivery purposes. Okay. Then later on, as my business is growing, I am trying to arranging some loan funds, or maybe I have my side income from, let's say, these tuition classes. Okay. So whatever fees I'm earning, I'm saving a part and then I invest in my business again. So it is not just a one-time investment. Whenever the owner is bringing something in the business, it can be in the form of cash. It can be in the form of, we use the word kind. Kind means can be form of any assets, any goods, any machinery, furniture, your motor vehicle, whatever. It can be anything, but all these things, if the owner is bringing, it is called capital. So goods, machinery. Then I said, what else did I say? What else did I say? Yes, can anyone? What else did I say? Goods. Then you are bringing machinery, you are bringing furniture. Okay, you're bringing some motor vehicle. Whatever your personal asset, if you bring in business, that is nothing but capital. That forms capital. Yes, yeah, yes, very good, Unnati. Your land. Maybe you had your own shop. You had your own shop and that you are using for your business. Great, very nice. If some other person has invested for Raj and said that you don't have to repay it, then it is a kind of gift for Raj. See, very good question, Madhav. If other person has invested for Raj and he's saying that you don't have to give me back, it is a gift for Raj. But from business point of view, it will be said that you have to pay this back to the owner Raj itself. Okay. As it is, even the gain, whatever the business is gaining, if I say that this is profit, even that profit goes to who? The owner, because he has invested cash. He's taking up the risk. He's working day in and day out for the business. Okay. Getting in, Madhav? So I would say first it's a gift for Raj. And then from business point of view, it is a liability. As it is the profit which the business is earning also, that also they have to repay back to the owner. So along with business entity concept, we understood the definition of capital. Now, whenever this word comes, I believe all of you will understand. What is capital? Amount invested by owner in the business is called capital, right? Okay. Are all of you with me up till here? And I hope all of you have noted down with me. So from today, yes, stock itself is goods, beta. Yes, land and building, we discussed. Any other things also, many things I might be, even I had a spare mobile phone. So there can be n number of things, but whatever is my personal and bring in business is called capital. Okay, now coming on to my example, I would like to take one more example to understand one more point. So my second example, I hope now all of you understood that Raj brought a delivery van from his personal cash, but he used it for his business. That is why it's a business transaction and it will be recorded in the business books of accounts. Okay, because it is measurable in terms of money, the financial position is changing and it is related to business. Now, one third example I would like to give. Let's make a scenario wherein this Raj is sitting in his shop. This is his shop, okay? And here Raj is sitting on his chair. This is my Raj. Don't see my drawing. I can never be a drawing teacher, okay? So Raj is sitting here and it's 1 p.m. afternoon time. and his friend comes there. His friend say, suggest me a name. Suggest me a name for his friend. Krish. So his friend Krish comes and say, let's go out for lunch. Okay. Now Raj agrees. Yes, Ekta, we are not coming on to the debit credit part, and I think that's by mistake only you've written because something is wrong also, but let's not go into those details. Soon, tomorrow itself, we'll come on to debit and credit. Okay, so coming on to my example, so Raj is here sitting in his shop. It's 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and Krish comes up and says, let's go out for lunch. So Raj checks his pocket and he sees that, oh, I've forgotten my wallet. So he takes business cash and he goes. Okay, so now Raj has taken cash from his shop for his personal use, for his personal expense. Now tell me, is this a personal transaction or is it a business transaction? Yes, it is a financial transaction. Now we know that because he has taken, let's say, 5,000 amount from the cash box. So it is a financial transaction. Should I record in the business books of accounts or should I record in the personal books of accounts? Is it a personal, write P for personal transaction, write B for business transaction. Okay, business. Okay, drawings, business. I'll come to that word. Yes, very good. It is a business transaction. Why? Because it was a financial transaction and business position got affected. Very good. Rice, Mohit, Krishna, Madhav, everyone. Too good. I am continuously looking at your chats and I'm happy. This conversation should always be there. It is a business transaction. It will be recorded in the business books. Why? Because business position got affected. Though if you see, it did not, as such, I would say it did not benefit the business, but our position changed. So I will record in my business books of accounts, right? And this he has taken for his personal purpose. I can say, second example, I can say one of my suppliers has come from Delhi. I am in Pune. Okay. So one of my suppliers has come from Delhi for me only. So he has come from Delhi and now I'll obviously take him for lunch because he has come for my work. So I take him for lunch. This I can say it's a business expenditure. In the process of my business, I have to do this expenditure also, that I have to take him for lunch. So again, this is a business transaction. However, here he went for his personal expense, just hanging out with his friends. But why is it business transaction and why will it be recorded in the books? Because the business position changed. Okay. I hope I am clear. And whenever any amount is withdrawn by the owner from the business, now I'm coming on to one more term. We wrote capital here. This was our definition of capital. Now we'll write drawings. It is called drawings. So what is drawings? Drawings is nothing but amount withdrawn by owner from the business. Okay. For his personal purpose. That is important. So it is possible that Raj at the time of 1 p.m. he takes out 5,000 cash and he goes and buys some goods or maybe he does any business expenditure. He's going to buy some goods or maybe repaying to some of the old suppliers. But that is for business. So that will not be termed as drawings. So whenever a cash or an amount is withdrawn, doesn't mean it is drawings. If an amount is withdrawn by the owner from the business for his personal use, then it is called drawings for his personal purpose. Okay. So this also comes, the word capital and drawings are important because of business entity concept. We are on business entity concept. Since you have made owner a separate person and business a separate person, whatever amount owner gives to person, that is also recognized in the business. That we say capital. Yes, it is a liability. Business will have to pay it back to the owner. And now business says, if you are taking my cash, that is called drawings. You pay me back. So yeah, instead of paying back, we just reduce it from capital. That will come later on. But business will record, you have taken cash. So here the owner cannot say, It's my money only. I'm taking it back. No. Now it is business money. Once you give to business, it is business money. Yes, I am business. I agree. I have to pay this back to you. Like simple example, if I take, suppose you've taken loan from your friend. Okay. So let's say Yukta. Yukta has taken loan from Vidhi. Okay. Now, and Yukta has said that after 3 months, I'll pay you back. In these 3 months, can Vidhi come and question her that Yukta, you say you have no money, you've taken loan and you're spending lavishly. Does Vidhi have the right to question Yukta on how to use the money? Or can she say, now, come on, give me my money back? Yes, tell me. Right. Yes, Achal. Definitely. After 3 months, so Yukta agrees that yes, it's a liability. You have given me 3 months time. I'll pay you after 3 months. But in between, you cannot come and say it's my money. Okay. So similarly, drawings are nothing but amount withdrawn by the owner from business for his own personal use. And up till now, what we learned is that in case of, and this is the main concept with which now we'll start doing our accounts, because we need to understand that whenever we are accounting from business point of view. So only business transactions which are of financial nature will be recorded in business books of accounts. Whatever the owner does outside my business, that will never be recorded in my books of accounts. Okay. I hope I am clear up till here. Any one of you having any doubt up till here, kindly feel free to ask. Yes. Or maybe from yesterday's point of view, if I've missed any of your doubts yesterday, you can please ask me. Go ahead. I'm waiting for a minute. Okay. So I hope it is clear up till here. Just a second. Okay. Now, after understanding business entity concept, let us understand one more concept today, and that is money measurement concept. Now I'm taking one more concept which is somewhere related, since we already discussed in our conversation today. This part has already been covered, but let us just formally write it. Coming on to money measurement concept. As per this concept, only those transactions which are capable to be measured in terms of money, will be recorded in books of accounts. So we already discussed that the example of Steve Jobs, that if he dies, it affects the business. There are many things, the loyalty of the customers, the loyalty of the employees, the quality of our team, how we manage, these things also affect the business. But since we cannot recognize it in terms of money, that will not be recorded in the books of accounts. Okay, so only those transactions which are capable to be measured in terms of money will be recorded in books of accounts. Now, along with this, if you all remember, yesterday I had taken up this point that when it comes to money, which currency should I take? So your place of business, suppose it's in India, then you have to record everything in Indian rupees, INR. Yes, this I told you that if you're recording in India, if you're maintaining your books of accounts in India, you have to record each and every transaction in terms of INR, Indian currency. Okay. And I had given you an example that suppose I buy one of my asset, suppose I bring in one of my machinery from UK. If I import machinery from UK, if I import my machinery from UK, then definitely I'll have to pay them pounds. Yes. But will I record in my books in pounds? Tell me. Yes, yes, definitely. I'll not record in pounds. I will have to convert it through exchange rate. I'll have to convert it into Indian rupees itself, right? And I can record only in Indian rupees. Similarly, in UK, if you're maintaining your business in UK, you'll have to convert it into pounds. Okay. So money measurement concept says only those transactions which are capable to be measured in terms of money will be recorded in books of accounts. In fact, let me tell you, that is why, in ancient times, I hope everyone has noted down up till here. Please have the habit of noting down with me. But where you feel that, ma'am, wait, again, I'm telling you, kindly let me know. Okay. Now, what I was coming point, in ancient times, there was barter exchange. What was barter exchange? So we've learned in our history that at that moment, goods were exchanged for goods, right? Goods exchanged for goods. And that used to work mostly as per my need. Like if I give you an example, I can say that suppose I'm in need of rice. I don't have rice to eat. So I need 10 kgs of rice. And now what I have to give? Also, I have nothing to give. I just have one of my goat, which I can give. So I'm ready to give that goat because I want something to eat. So I'm ready to give up my goat, which is my earning member. I sell goat's milk, but I'm ready to give because today I don't have money. Today I don't have anything to eat. All my family members are hungry. So we at that moment in ancient times, their exchange used to be this much. Not today. If you compare, see 10 kg of even a good quality rice, I would say. Even a good quality, let's say basmati, if I assume 120 per kg, just an example. Even if I assume 120 per kg, my price will be 1200 rupees, right? And you go and check out the price of a single goat in the market. You will realize that the price is mostly around minimum 4 to 5,000. Minimum 4 to 5,000 is the price of that goat. So now, coming back to my business or my books, if this transaction has to be recorded in my books, tell me at what price should I record? Should I record at 1200 because I gained a good at 1200? Mujhe, whatever I got was rupees 1200. Or I should record at 4000 or 5000 because what went out is of the value 5000. Are you guys getting it? What the problem is? Here also there is money. But at what price should I record is a problem. Right? So thus everything nowadays, no, actually Rajkumar, there is no answer to this. Now barter exchange is not possible and we cannot record books in our books or accounts as per barter exchange. That is why money measurement concept came into picture, because money is something you can measure everything in terms of money except for some qualitative characteristics. Money is a common denominator. It's a common thing with which you can value everything. Today, in fact, you will never do like this. Now, will you just take 10 kgs of rice by giving a goat? No. Either you could have done one thing, you would have sold the goat outside in the market, and then you could have go and buy 10 kg rice, and then you'll have even savings left. Right? Yes, that is why money came. So money is that common denomination which you can value each and every product. And thus in accounts also they had to bring. So I can never pass the entry that rice coming in and where you write the amount, you're writing one goat. Are you all able to understand my point? See, I always believe that whenever we are learning accounts, okay, about the father accounts, about the concept, I'll come to that point tomorrow. But we need to understand how money has come into picture, why accounts came into picture. There are long stories and so many problems earlier our ancestors used to face. And now accounts has come up as a language, so now it's easy for you and me to communicate. And even you go outside the world, wherever you go, you are able to communicate. But Just understand, in the start, this was so tough. Okay. So these concepts and all were formulated on those bases only, so that now some things come at a platform, one uniform platform, then only we are able to communicate. No, like these classes I'm taking in English because I was told that there might be some students who might face problem in Hindi. There might be some students. I know basic Hindi maybe everyone knows. But then English was a method of communication. It was a means where every one of you are able to understand. Am I correct? Similarly, money is that value where everything you can record in terms of money. Thus, money measurement concept has come into picture. Okay. So, on that note, I would like to end my class for today. Today, we've understood business entity concept and money measurement concept. I'll just give you a quick revision of what we did. We wrote down first the entire syllabus, okay, and along with the weightage. Then we came on to the users of financial statements. We came on to the definition of accounts. We understood that when it comes to transactions, only financial transactions will be recorded in the books, that too which are capable to be measured in terms of money will be recorded in our books. And then we came on to concepts, wherein we learned business entity concept, which said that owner and business are two separate persons. And then we came on to money measurement concept, where we said that everything which I record in my business has to be recorded in terms of a single currency, and that currency has to be belong to the place in which your business is running, right? This is all we did today. Kindly let me know if you have any doubts up till here. Tomorrow we'll move ahead with a few more concepts, and tomorrow we'll go into the basic recording of transactions in our books. Like I told you, all the concepts won't be done together. Tomorrow now we'll understand, if you heard the words debit, credit, we will go into how to record, because today we were concentrating on that only, now what to record. Now we'll come on to the question how to record. Okay. So that's it from my point today. Again, I would want you all, I'm sure every one of you must have noted down these points. So whatever you've written, just go through it once tomorrow before you come. And every day you will realize that there's just 2-3 pages which you've written. So every day, if you sincerely go through it and then come in the next class, it will benefit. And it will help you know what is going on, and you will learn. You will be able to think. Now in accounts, you should have the habit of keeping a questionable mind. Why are we doing this? What's the reason? I know in 11th 12th we were told this is to be done, plus this minus this, keep it on the debit side, keep it on the credit side. Why? So we'll come on to those questions slowly. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any doubts, I'll wait for 2 minutes so that your doubts can be answered. Practical problems, Rajkumar, depends on which chapter, but it comes simple. And simple or twisted depends on our understanding. If we've understood properly, if we know the concept, none of the questions you will find is complicated. Everything will be simple. Okay, but the basis is these journal entries, which we'll start from tomorrow. So those forms a base. Yesterday I also told you that if you are from Commerce Background, you must be knowing that yes, we used to pass journal entries. So directly they might not ask you the very basic journal entries, but first we'll have to start from this, because now our base is being formed for our entire life, not only up till we become CA. So we will have to understand this base properly, and then we'll move ahead, so that later on when we proceed with the chapters, we'll never face a problem. I hope so. Thank you so much. Take care, all of you. Ma'am, I'm unable to open the PDF. Can you resend it? Yukta, I would say that ignore that PDF. You will be getting my notes, and as it is, I'm not going by the PDF. Like I told you all today, in the starting days, you will not require any notes. And even if you require the notes, it will be here. And then I'll tell you, whatever is there, I'll be sending you on Telegram group. Okay. So you don't have to worry about the notes or the PDF right now. I will be giving it to you. Ma'am, we got more difficulty in rectification and BRS. So I was asking about it. So Rajkumar, I just wanted to know this in 11th, 12th you had difficulty in these chapters. Now you won't have, trust me. We'll not do it at the start itself, but whenever you will do, I will make sure that you know the concept before you start doing these chapters, and then I believe you will not face a problem. Okay. So yes, one more thing that reminds me that don't have a mindset right now. I'm assuming you all are बोलते हैं ना कोरा कागज. You all are plain paper. Now things have to be written. Similarly, I would tell you all that whatever preconceptions are there in your mind, that in 11th I didn't like this chapter, oh this was really tough. If the same mindset is right now, then you will feel from the day itself when I start that chapter, you'll feel, oh yeah, it's tough. I don't like this chapter. And maybe that's easy one, and other complex chapters, since you don't know, you will like those. And this is, since because it's in your mindset, you will feel that, oh, it's a tough chapter. So I would say forget everything. When we do it, you will also be able to do it with me. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Good night. Take care, all of you, and see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. I would now end my video.